Dear readers, welcome to our channel. Is it true? Ruslan Baysarov, chairman of Russia's largest infrastructure company, Bamtynelstrojmost, revealed that he has coordinated with various departments, including the Russian Ministry of Transport, the Ministry of Far East and Arctic Development, and the Russian State Railways, to officially initiate the design and construction of the new Jia Linda-Mohe Railway Bridge. This new railway bridge connecting Jia Linda in Russia to Mohe in China is about to commence construction, injecting new vitality into Sino-Russian cross-border cooperation. Meanwhile, Russian President Putin, amid the tension of the election, does not forget to focus on this major construction project, showing a high concern for the national infrastructure. During the meeting with Putin, Baysarov detailed the situation, ensuring that the country's leaders are well informed and supportive of this important project. Although the actual construction of the Jia Linda-Mohe Railway Bridge began this year, its concept can be traced back to the 1980s. The idea was initially proposed at that time but gradually disappeared. It wasn't until the outbreak of the Russia-Ukraine conflict that, in September 2022, during the Eastern Economic Forum hosted by Russia, the long-dormant plan was once again brought up by China and Russia. Therefore, it can be said that this project had been shelved for 3 to 4 decades, waiting for the right moment. Jia Linda is located in Russia's Far East, and in January 2023, the location of the new port channel was determined between Amur Oblast and Heilongjiang. The construction of the Jia Linda-Mohe Railway Bridge will further increase the volume of goods transported between the two countries. The construction of the new railway bridge has also been put on the agenda. In March 2023, the Republic of Sakha in Russia approved the construction of the Jia Linda-Mohe new railway bridge. After several months of research and planning, Russia officially entered the detailed design phase in January 2024. The speed at which Russia has progressed from proposal to construction is truly impressive. Why is Russia suddenly so attentive to the infrastructure between China and Russia, and why is the progress so fast? It turns out that Russia is now in a situation where it can't wait. The Russian attitude towards connecting Sino-Russian infrastructure has always been calm and unhurried, never showing particular urgency. However, recent developments indicate that Russia can no longer afford to wait. They are eagerly starting to build various railways, bridges, natural gas pipelines, and routes connecting to China to facilitate buying and selling with China. What is even more noteworthy is that even President Putin himself is personally involved when facing Sino-Russian infrastructure projects, even conducting on-site inspections. Considering that the presidential election will be held in March of this year, which is the most important political agenda in Russia, Putin should have focused on election affairs during this period. However, Putin did not do so. Instead, during the election period, he continued to personally inspect infrastructure projects connected to China, demonstrating a high level of attention. Putin's first domestic trip this year was to inspect the Far East, listening to the plan for the construction of the Black Blind Island port. Now, after returning from the Far East, he has personally listened to the progress of the construction of the Jia Linda-Mohe Railway Bridge, and this matter is very likely to be synchronized with Putin's election affairs. On the day when the good news of the Jia Linda-Mohe Bridge was announced, Putin also went to his campaign headquarters in Moscow. Since Putin is running as a self-nominated candidate, he needs to collect at least 300,000 signatures from Russian citizens. It can be seen that while busy with his election affairs, Putin is also paying attention to Sino-Russian infrastructure projects, showing a very high level of attention for Russia. The Jia Linda-Mohe Railway Bridge is indeed of great strategic significance. Currently, the only railway bridge between China and Russia is the Tongjiang Railway Border Bridge. Given that Russia is actively promoting the development of the Far East and actively promoting economic cooperation with China, relying solely on one cross-border bridge is obviously insufficient to meet the growing trade demand between China and Russia. especially considering that China and Russia have reached a consensus on the construction of a new port channel from Amur Oblast to Heilongjiang. A series of railway transportation and railway bridge facilities are inevitably needed. In this context, the Jia Linda-Mohe Railway Bridge, as the second cross-border railway bridge between China and Russia, is of vital strategic importance. In addition, according to the statement of Vasily Orlov, the governor of Amur Oblast, the annual freight volume of the Jia Linda-Mohe new railway bridge is expected to be considerable, reaching 20 million to 40 million tons. After the project is completed, it will significantly increase the railway capacity in the eastern region of Russia. Currently, the only Baysarov main line is under pressure due to the surge in freight volume between China and Russia after the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and there have even been situations where goods cannot be transported. After the completion of the Jia Linda-Mohe Railway Bridge, it will effectively relieve the transportation burden of the Baysarov main line, the Trans-Siberian Railway, and the ports in the Far East. It will provide a more convenient channel for Russia to export coal, ore, petroleum products, and grain to China. The benefits of building the Jia Linda-Mohe Railway are obvious. After 2 years of the Russia-Ukraine conflict and Western sanctions and isolation, Russia must have realized how important the infrastructure connected to China is. As neighboring countries, China and Russia naturally have a strong foundation for economic cooperation. In addition, the two countries complement each other well in the economic field. Russia can provide the resources that China needs, such as energy, grain, and coal, while China can meet Russia's needs for high-end industrial products, machinery and equipment, automobiles, machine tools, and other products. As long as the corresponding infrastructure keeps pace, the potential for economic cooperation between China and Russia is boundless. This is also why Putin, during the busy election period, still pays high attention to infrastructure projects with China. In conclusion, let me summarize for the readers. I hope you have gained something, inspiration and reflection. In this video, we can see Russia's government's high attention to infrastructure construction, especially the active promotion of the Sino-Russian Railway Bridge project. This reflects the strategic vision of the Russian government for national development and international cooperation, and it conveys an important message: infrastructure is the cornerstone of national prosperity. Putin personally focusing on and promoting this project during the election shows that he considers cooperation with China to be crucial, not only economically but also geopolitically and in terms of international relations. This reflects the foresight, determination, and high regard for the long-term interests of a leader. This raises a thought-provoking question: in today's era of globalization, how important is international cooperation and infrastructure construction for a country's development? This is a question worth contemplating. That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for the next exciting content. Goodbye.